Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Lezat Kinesova, and today I'm your host for first part of the MentorCon. Today we will discuss, and today the senior students will share their experience about gaining external academic opportunities. We'll hear the experience about case championships, academic mobility programs, summer schools, scholarships, and conferences, and many other things. But before we start, I have a small announcement to make. Uh, our speakers, Asiel Umarova and Alia Kaldubaeva, will present their speeches at 3 p.m. at the second part of today's event. So uh, please join us later this afternoon to hear their presentations. And each speaker will give a small presentation, and then you will have an opportunity to ask them questions. So we will start with our first mentor, Dana Gabitova. She is a senior economics student, and she is also a peer advisor at our academic and advising unit. She has experience in internships in Tsinghua Royal and NMH Baitirek. She is ex-president of Korean Club and research assistant at KSC. And today she will give you a presentation about scholarships from South Korea and Czech Republic for international training programs. Please welcome Dana Gabitova.
Thank you very much. First of all, hi everyone. As Lazar told you, my name is Dana. I'm a senior economics student. So now I'll share my screen. So here. So today I'll be talking about scholarships from South Korea and Czech Republic for international training programs. Firstly, I'd like to talk about 2019 JKS Global Korean Scholarship for Central Asian undergraduate students. It was 5 weeks training program organized by National Institute for International Education and Ministry of Education of Republic of Korea. So this program was held last year, and I was a part of it. There were 3 fields of study: international management, engineering, and economics. Even if I study economics in Nazarbayev University, I decided to choose international management for 2 reasons. Because firstly, I want to try something new, and secondly, Konkuk University was in Seoul, the center of Seoul. So this program provided was responsible for the airfare, for accommodation, tuition fees, and travelers insurance. So this scholarship program covers everything in this international training. And here are some photos from my experience there. This is the neighborhood of our university. And these are the participants of the program from 5 different countries. Since the program is for Central Asian undergraduate students, there were students from Kazakhstan, from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Kyrgyzstan. So here we had different classes, and also we had to do some project with our group. And these are the photos from our last day. These are our mentors, and also my experience from South Korea. About this program. The courses that we've been taught are these. Firstly, we had Korean History and Culture Leadership Program. So we studied Korean politics, history, culture, and we had some cultural experience. And talking about the major courses, we studied international management, international trade, real estate, and this kind of stuff. And the best thing about this program is I added this information too. So it's mostly about all the stuff you do except from academic and except from internships and work.
Okay, thank you.
I also have a question
Mhm.
regarding the language. I mean, you write. Do you know before the Korean language before applying to this scholarship?
Actually, yes, I knew, but it is not required for this program. The program is entirely held in English, and there were participants who didn't even know a single word in Korean, so it was not the requirement.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. So there's a question in the chat. Is there any limitations on what majors can apply to the program? Economics? Actually, I've asked about it. There were no limitations. Of course, you need to have some background, but no. For example, there was one participant from our university. She was PSIR student, however, applied to the international management. So the main thing is that you need to write in a motivational letter why you are applying to this program, why you why you want to study international management in this program and stuff. So there are no limitations, I guess. Hi Dana, was it easy to ask recommendation letter from your profs? Actually, no, it was not. Like actually it is easy, but for me it was not, because I'm not that close. I was not that close to the professors in my second year of study. However, our professors are very open and they are always eager to help. You may just write like, I was your student in this class, so do you remember me? I would like to have recommendation letter from you, and they will provide you. Actually, our professors are really good. Is it possible to look at your motivational letters? I don't know. Actually, it is kind of private. But I can give you some tips about it. You can write me in direct messages and I'll give you some tips, or I'll advise you on the content of the motivational letter and try to help. But I don't know about showing my motivational letter, but I'll help. Could you please tell how you got your internships? The presentation on my internships will be today at 3 p.m. So join us in our MentorCon. Yes, you can write me email or in Telegram, anywhere. So if you have any other questions, what should we write to the scholarship motivation letter? So for scholarship motivation letter, I explained why I need the scholarship. So like it is more like, I can not afford this program. It is too expensive for Kazakhstan's students, something like this. It is, it's like давить на жалость, but it's only for scholarship. If you are writing motivation letter for the program, like not for the exact scholarship, you don't need to write about stuff like I cannot afford and something like that. So this tactic is actually used by most of the students, I guess. And also you need to write like, I'm a student, I do not earn money, but I would like to gain some experience, gain some international like knowledge, something like that, and write that you don't have money for to afford this program, something like that. But it's only for scholarship. Yes. To what extent GPA is important for scholarships? I think that GPA is not the most important thing while getting the scholarship for the international programs. You need to have some kind of like some above average GPA. However, most important things are your experience, your like motivation, and I think all like your personal skill, like your professional skills and personality. What is the minimum GPA to have overall? I don't know actually what is the minimum, but I guess above 3 and above 3 is okay. Okay. But I cannot tell about it. I don't know. I'm not in admissions committee. So if there are no more questions, I think we can finish with my presentation. How did you know? How did you know about this program? I usually all students notified about opportunities and programs. So firstly, about the global Korean scholarships. About this program, I've heard from my brother. So, however, all this information is included in the website Studying Korea. So always search in this website. Secondly, sometimes we have emails about different opportunities from Korean Advising Center and from other different people. So always check your mail. And also I've heard from my friends, so always talk to people and get all the information needed. Could you share your Telegram account? Yes. So how to share it? How to share it? One second. Actually, I have this. Are you a part of Ask Your Peer Advisor chat in Telegram? So I'm in this chat. I can write there my Telegram account. And I think my Telegram account is something like Dakensky with double E-I and 7. Dakensky 7. I can write in this. This is my account. So thank you, everyone. If there are no more questions, some of these questions were private, so sorry. Did you apply to any programs after your first year? No, I did not apply to any programs. I've got scholarship. I've got internship after my first year, even if it's like I've got only internship, not any international program. So I guess we finished the presentation. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can write me in Telegram if you have any other questions. Bye.
Thank you, Dana, for your presentation. And now we will move to our next speaker, Aliat Ligeno. Aliat Ligeno is a senior political science and international relations student, and she is also an ex-president of Nazarbayev University Model of United Nations Club and APSS Club. So in today's presentation, she will share her experience of participating in International Model UN Conference and Model ASEM Conference. Please welcome Aliat Ligeno.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lizat, can you please stop sharing your screen? Thank you. I'm really glad that you could join us today at our MentorCon. And today I want to share with you 2 opportunities that I've been able to go to last year. Most of them were in Madrid, and one of them is Model UN, Harvard Model UN, and the second one is Model ASEM conferences. So these are both the simulations of like intergovernmental meetings. And I guess we can start from Model United Nations and what it is, just to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So Model United Nations is practically academic simulations of United Nations meetings, where students are assigned to a particular country to them, and they act as delegates that try to protect the interests of their countries and to, while solving international issues regarding, I don't know, climate change, human rights, and just any issues that are related to the UN activities. And these simulations also occur throughout different United Nations committees. For example, United Nations Human Rights Committee, United Nations Security Council, or Economic and Financial Committee. So there is a lot of opportunity to just actually unveil all your interests and understand what you like the most and what you're most passionate about. So we are quite lucky at Nazarbayev University, actually, since we have this Model United Nations Club that regularly organizes conferences for new students. I'm not sure how it is going this year, but previous years when we were all on campus, we had regular weekly meetings, which were held in terms of United Nations Security Council, and we discussed various issues in small groups. It was about from 6 to 10 people, I guess, who could participate weekly in our simulations. And we also organized yearly about 3 or 4 conferences. These were larger conferences. We had sponsors. We had sponsors like OIC, we had sponsors like UNICEF, and we organized also international conferences, not only for new students, but also for students from bordering countries, from post-Soviet space. And these conferences, this international conference actually entailed about 5 or 4 United Nations committees. So this is a great opportunity if you want to start practicing Model United Nations, and if you want to understand how diplomacy works, and if you want to understand whether you love this kind of policymaking sphere. So coming to the international conference that we've been able to go with the board members of any Model United Nations Club, it was Harvard Model UN. It was held in Madrid last spring, and it is actually the largest Model United Nations conference in the world. As you can see, it held more than 2,000 participants, and we had the simulations during the whole working day, so it was quite exhausting, to be honest. But despite it being quite prestigious international Model UN, it is still not the most engaging, not the most quality conference, unfortunately. We had to discover it only by coming there and understanding that 2,000 participants for a conference is too much, and the quality of the debates, of the discussion, of your engagement reduces heavily. So practically every committee had more than 100 students. My committee, for example, had more than 300 students, and it was practically impossible to actively discuss, to understand what was going on, to have a quality discussion there, and to speak, like, I guess, for more than 3 times per session. And this kind of although it was like very interesting experience, you got to know a lot of people, you got to visit another country, you got to understand what international conferences actually look like by not organizing them but participating in them. But still, the experience was not the best one, to be honest, since there were a lot of participants. So my tip here, if you want to go to international Model UN conferences, try to choose and pick not the most prestigious, not the most famous one, but the most but the conference where you can understand that there are interesting topics that you like. There are not so many committees. They are not accepting all the participants there, and where you can have a good programming of the conference. Because in Harvard Model UN, we did not have, for example, any extracurricular activities, any socials, for which we did not have to pay, besides the simulations themselves. So this is not to make you not interested in Model United Nations conferences, but this is just to show you how reality works and how you should more apply, like, more sinking to choosing the conferences and choosing the programs where you apply and where you want to go. So yes, and an important part of this experience going to international model UNs is that and you can actually sponsor your travel there and your participation in these conferences, and they usually do so, but they usually sponsor participation of Model United Nations Club's board members. So the process goes as follows. You, as a board member of the Model United Nations Club of Nazarbayev University, you apply for the sponsorship by filling out specific forms, by writing motivational letters, and by asking a recommendation letter from the academic advisor of your club. So most clubs at Nazarbayev University, which are academic, I think they have their academic supervisors and mentors. And for example, for a new MUN club, it is Maya Savevska, and she wrote a recommendation for us, for the board members of NU MUN, to go for the conference, and so that the NU sponsors our travel there. So this is important when taking into account the finances, because usually international Model UN conferences are not sponsored by the organizations themselves, since mostly it's universities just like us who organize these conferences, and they do not have enough resources to fund every participant's travel and participation fee. So this is it for Model UN, I guess. And if you have any questions, you can write them in chat and we'll answer them a bit later. And for now, I wanted to share with you another experience that I've been able to go through. And it is a much better experience, to be honest. And it was not expected to be that. So again, just to make sure that everyone understands what I'm talking about Asia-Europe meeting right now. And the Model ASAM, Model Asia-Europe meeting that I've participated in. So this is a meeting that it is an intergovernmental process which was established to kind of foster dialogue and cooperation between Asia and Europe. And it regularly organizes different conferences, different programs for students from Asia and from Europe as well, to establish like the most recent researches, and to foster again cooperation and dialogue. So Model ASAM was just one of the conferences organized by the Secretariat of Asia-Europe meeting, and it was a 5-day fully funded program. So here, not the Nazarbayev University paid for me, but the ASAM paid for me. So the program was actually very rich, and it was prepared in such detail, and it was prepared very meticulously, and it was really such a joy to be there, just to understand how everyone is thinking about you, how the organizers thought about every little detail of this conference. So besides having the on-ground experience, we also had an online preparatory phase where we, before going to the conference, I guess it was about a month ahead of the program itself. So the program was held, again, it was in Madrid, and it was in December. And the preparatory phase we had, it was about in October, November, I guess. The preparatory phase included online crash courses on policymaking, and we also had a lot of webinars, workshop by top policymakers from the Asia and Europe as well. We had numerous workshops from ASEAN group members, and we had group and individual tasks on assigned country. So here, just as is in MUN, in Model UN, we were assigned, each participant were assigned to a particular country, which is represented at ASAM, and we represented a particular country in groups of 3. We had head delegate member and other delegate members. And so in a group, we prepared tasks that sort of clarified the positions of our countries in specific policy areas which we were going to discuss on the meeting itself. And and we had the meetings ourselves. These were again academic simulations of ASAM foreign ministers meeting, and it was not during the whole day. We actually had about one or two meetings per day, which lasted about like hour and a half, I guess, and most of our time was actually filled with different workshops. We had workshops on diplomacy, on conflict management, on public speaking, and various other topics. And we could choose between going on different workshops, and we could decide on which to go and which not to go. And we had also meetings with ambassadors in their respective embassies. I was fortunate enough to go to the Norwegian embassy and meet the Norwegian ambassador. We had a talk with them. We had a nice lunch with them. So it was a really such a I would say an exclusive opportunity to have. And we also had meetings with foreign ministers of our own home countries. Kazakhstani delegation, like not the delegation, but participants from Kazakhstan. It was me and another guy from Tsinghua University. We did not have the opportunity to meet our foreign minister because apparently he did not have enough time. But I guess most of the participants had the chance to meet their foreign ministers in Madrid because the model ASEM was held in conjunction with ASEM foreign ministers meeting. So the ministers were at the same time as we there for the same meeting, but we were practically simulating their meetings while they were doing the real meetings. And besides that, we had a very rich cultural and entertainment program. So again, yes, I was very surprised by how thoughtful the organizers were about filling in our time. So yes, we talked about everything, how it goes, I guess, and now a natural question to ask is, what are the benefits? Benefits are certainly by doing the model UN or doing the model ASAM, is that you get to develop your debating and negotiation skills, which are very important, and you certainly will practice them a lot during Model United Nations conferences. Public speaking skills, again, they do not appear out of nowhere. You have to practice it, and at the Model UN, you will practice it certainly a lot of time. You will also experience diplomacy, and you will kind of understand how, although you're simulating all the discussions and negotiations, you will still understand how it goes when one have to protect the interests of their country, and another has to do the same, and you just have to come to a common solution. So this is a very important skill to have, and besides that, you will certainly have an opportunity to travel abroad and explore new countries and cultures. You will have the opportunity to make new friends who will, although it's kind of a cliche, but they will broaden your horizons. And it's really good to have acquaintances from all over the world. And for sure, it looks good in your CV. And this is one of the most important things we have to think about when we're at the university, so that we could, later go to our master's degree or PhD degrees or pursue our career paths. So you have to take that in mind just as well. And of course, it's about fun. This is just a very unique opportunity to have both your academic skills elevated and have fun at the same time, and you will certainly have to use this opportunity while you're at university. And in case with a new Model United Nations conferences, is that you will have good relationships with your professors. In case, for example, if you're to try to come to office hours and talk not about class stuff, so to say, with them, and new Model United Nations conferences are the best opportunity to do so. We have numerous breaks, we have lunches, we have dinners, we have socials, and these are the time slots where you can approach your professor and just talk about anything else, so that they better know you as a person. And then, as the question was asked, for example, it will not be difficult for you then to ask for a recommendation letter, for anything, for any other favor just from them, because they know you not only as a student, but they also know you as a person. And this is a really good thing to have while you're at university. So this is some useful website that I decided to share with you. This is usop.com, where you can find different opportunities, starting from research conferences to summer schools and conferences like MUN and etc. mymoon.com is the specialized website for Model United Nations conferences, and you can find any conferences you want there, and like according to countries, according to number of participants, and so on. asef.org is the website of the secretariat of the organization to which I went to the Model exam. And this is a very useful website just as a resource for you to, as a student, to explore, to often go to. They also have a very useful newsletter from which I got to know, by the way, about the Model exam, and from which I decided to apply to that conference. So if you have the opportunity, also sign up for the newsletter. It's quite useful. And also OEC Program Office in Nur Sultan, their Facebook page. They also tend to organize a lot of useful conferences for Central Asian students, I guess. And these conferences also they are paid fully, and they're very useful, as I have a couple of friends who went to these conferences. So just as well, try to follow these pages and see whether they have any opportunities or not. So that is it. I hope I did not go beyond my time limit. Lizette, do we have time still?
Yeah, I think we have time to ask questions. So
okay. So from Nikita, we have a question: what resources did you use to prepare for simulations? Maybe some websites. Actually, not necessarily, because it all depends on the topic we're exploring. For example, not every country decides to publish openly and publicly their stance on particular issue, so that you often have to just browse through the news and through some press briefings, where you just step by step try to understand what the country's policies and stance towards a particular issue is. And that is probably it. But also you can, if you're fortunate enough and the country is open enough to share their positions, you can also go to ministries of foreign affairs of the particular country and see if they have any resources for a topic you're interested in. Any other questions? Also, I would like to say that the conferences and the Model UN simulations that I talked about here are not exclusively for political science students, as you might have thought, because we have, for example, as well as just in our board members, we had one biology student, we had an economics student, and so it does not, being another major than PSR does not exclude you from participating in this. It's just about your interest, and if you're interested in these simulations, then just go for it. In what countries were your conferences held? That message was sent privately, I guess by occasion. So both of these conferences were held in Madrid. It's just an accident, I guess. So yeah, I had to travel to Madrid twice per year, in March and in December. So yeah, Madrid, Spain. But these conferences, they usually try to change their venues and like each year, so that each year you don't really know where the conference will be held. Okay. I guess if we don't have any questions, we can proceed to the next speaker.
So I think, yes, we do not have any more questions. Thank you, Andrea, for your presentation. It was a wonderful presentation. And now I want to give the floor to Damilia Koshbaeva. She is also a peer advisor at our academic advising unit. She is currently Minister of Culture at Nazarbayev University Student Government, and today she will share her experience with online summer school, like benefits and drawbacks of this experience. Please welcome Damilia.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be here. I will just share my screen, 1 second, to share my experience. So yes, traveling is amazing, as Dana and Ali have mentioned, but considering the realities of the current situation with online schooling and travel bans, the only option that we have right now is doing online summer schools. But you don't have to be upset about that, because you still get certificates, you can still get academic credits, and you can still get the experience. So today I will discuss this new innovative experience that I had. Firstly, I will like to conduct a little activity with you, because I understand that you've been sitting here for a long time and maybe you're a little bit you're not that excited. So this is a little activity that we had in Tsinghua Global Summer School as well. So what I want you to do is, next to the button where it says I am sharing, like Damilia is sharing, you can click the view options, and there's a button annotate. And then the annotate, you can click either drawing or stamp, and you can stamp here on the maps where you're from, just for us to gain a sense of where all of us are. Like in Tsinghua, we did this activity in order to know where everyone is, to get a sense of community in the online world. So I would give you a couple of, I'll give you like maybe a minute to do that. Again, next to the, yes, I see that there's some check marks. So just mark where you're from, and then we can visually see where everyone is. Yes, you can either draw, or there's also a button stamp, so that you can take any shape and just put it there. Oh, I see. Great, great. It's interesting to see like visually on the map where everyone is. And this creates a sense of also community, that we're not alone in this, and just that there's a lot of distance that separates us, but in reality, we're in the same world, in the same universe, or in our case, maybe in the same country. Mm-hmm.
Can you explain again, please, how to do it?
So on the top of the screen, there's a green line which says Damilia is sharing the screen. Right next to it, there's a button, view options, I believe. You click it, and then down there, like in the middle, it says annotate. And you click the button annotate, and then you can either draw something or click stamp. It's also in the middle in the toolbar, and you can choose that and choose where you're from. And just like click on the screen, and it will draw automatically for you. Yeah, it's possible to make via laptop. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. It was very interesting to see where everyone's from. 1 second, I will just. I've cleared the slide, and now I can continue. 1 second. I'm having some technical issues. Okay, there we go. So now I will tell you a little bit about the university where the summer school actually was. It's called Tsinghua University. It's established in 1911 in Beijing, China. In reality, this program was actually meant to be held in Beijing, China themselves. So they grant everyone a sum of money, so a grant, and they fly you out to Beijing and you live there on campus with all the other students and study for a week in their summer school. And it was supposed to be done like that, but of course, since this summer quarantine striked and everything was shut down, the program was moved online, unfortunately, because I actually wanted to go to Beijing very badly because I've studied Chinese, but this is the new reality and we had it that way. So some key information about Tsinghua University, just so that you know, is that it's one of the top public universities in mainland China. It's ranked 15 in the QS Global World Rankings, and according to Times Higher Education Asia and the US News, it is considered the best university in Asia. It is a leader in interaction between China and the West, and it focuses a lot on research in science and engineering. And now I will talk a little bit about just the benefits and the drawbacks of actually studying at this particular global summer school and just online summer schools in general. So firstly is that you gain a technological outlook. I myself am a third-year world languages, literature, and culture student, so I don't have that many connections with technology. But this summer school opened my eyes a lot to the technological possibilities and also the way that we can implement technology everywhere. For example, there was a session from the student of London College of Arts. So she is an architecture student, but she had a presentation on how she created a mobile app with her own drawings that showcase the benefits of using electric scooters. So there are a lot of presentations like that that really show how technology can be applied in various disciplines, not just engineering and science, but even in the arts, literature, history, and so forth. Also, it gave me a fresh perspective on Chinese outlooks on politics and economy. I can actually, can you see my home screen? You probably can't, 1 second. I'll reshare my screen. And I wanted to show you a couple of, I wanted to show you a couple of, a couple of videos from what I took that was on the computer so that you could see what was actually going on there. So give me just a second. I will share my desktop. So you can see my desktop, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Now I can just show you like some examples of the slides. They're not of excellent quality because I took them on my phone on my computer, but that's how it was. So it was like a Zoom conference. And here, for example, they had a topic on a Chinese perspective on the US economy and how their economies interact. So it was a very interesting presentation because they provided their own outlook that we never see in mass media. We usually see the US perspective. So for example, we had information like that from the economics professor at that university. Also, I can show another photo. Here, they also shared their experience with online teaching in spring 2020. Here, they showed the gains, the pains, and names. So it was also very interesting to see how online teaching is so similar across the board in various universities. Also, here I can just show you a little clip of how it actually went. So it was actually done very professionally. So they had a lot of like these very nice videos before the start of the sessions. And you can see here, each session, they were all dressed very professionally. And as they told us, they were in the main hall filming with a great screen with the panels and everything. And it didn't feel like you were just watching a random Zoom lecture, but it actually did feel like you're a part of something grand because they put so much effort into it. I can also show you here, there's a picture of how it was actually held. So they had, so here's their main hall. So the speaker was like this in a panel and there was this big camera with the slides for them. Now I will go back to my presentation. Another benefit is that the instructors at Tsinghua University were very, very professional, as I've mentioned earlier. Not only that, but they invited speakers from other universities too, from other well-known universities. Like I've mentioned, London College of Arts. They also, I believe, had had professors from the University of Wisconsin and other kind of these well-known universities. From Tsinghua, there were only about 3 or 4 instructors. All others were either alumni of Tsinghua University who are teaching in other well-known universities, or they were, some of them were master students and some of them were PhD students. And finally, the greatest benefit of BAL is that we get a certificate of completion that you can, of course, put into your CV. And the certificate is very official with the stamp, with the signature and everything. And also what is very interesting is that since this summer program included us participating in lectures and also having like kind of, they call it like a final examination, but it was like an essay type of worksheet that we had to complete that comprised of about 3,000 words. And after the completion, they grant you 1 Tsinghua credit. So 1 Tsinghua credit, I believe, was equal to either 2 or 3 ECTs in NU. So they give you, after you submit your work, your essay, they check it. And if you've done an adequate job and they see that you've actually participated in everything, they give you a certificate of gaining a credit. So you can go and get that credit. But unfortunately, this year, I was not able to get that credit, although I had the certificate, because Dr. Enz told that right now they're not accepting credits from online schools just yet, but I hope that will change. Now, of course, when there are benefits, there have to be some drawbacks, and now I will discuss some of them. So firstly is, of course, communication. You might actually experience this right now as well in the online module, is that firstly, it's kind of difficult to make acquaintances. It was more difficult than, for example, Aliyah and Dana when they actually went abroad and got to know people, talk with people. But here it's more difficult because everything is on Zoom. So sometimes there were activities with the breakout rooms where you could talk with other students, but a lot of them, they turned off their camera or they did not say anything. Some of them were more talkative than others, so it kind of depends. And also, it's a bit more difficult, of course, to get a connection with any of the professors that teach there, or also your TA, because again, everything is on Zoom. Of course, they try to include you in everything, and they tell you that, oh, after coronavirus ends and we will have this program again, we're waiting for you to come to Tsinghua University in Beijing in person and not just online. But of course, yes, it's kind of underwhelming. Also, the second point is the time difference. Beijing and Astana's, I'm in Astana, so the time difference is 2 hours. So some of the lectures that were very early in the morning, like in Beijing time, it was 8 o'clock, but here it was 6 o'clock. So I had to get up at 6 o'clock and turn on my Zoom to watch the lectures. And finally, some of the themes were not as clear, or some of them were misleading. For example, there was a funny instance when there was a theme called From Deep Learning to Deep Understanding. So you would think that this theme would be more maybe about like language acquisition, maybe about like us students learning, maybe about teaching, but in reality, it was about AI and how AI learns and how AI teaches. So me as a student of world languages, linguistics and culture, language, literature and culture, it was kind of difficult to follow up because the lecture was geared towards students who already had a lot of technical knowledge. So the professor talked with a lot of various acronyms that I had no idea what they meant. Like he talked about the logarithms of GTD and how that helps to code an AI, I think. So after the lecture, I had to spend some time to research in order to understand what these acronyms mean, what they stand for, and how these equations work in order to make AI work, because I wanted to write my essay on AI. So those were some of the drawbacks. Now, I will talk about maybe one of the most kind of intriguing parts, I guess, of how it actually happened. So how I actually got in. So at first I got an email from the Department of Internal Cooperation here at Nazarbayev University. So what is interesting is that Nazarbayev University, along with many other universities, including Tsinghua, are in an Asian University Alliance. So this email was from the Asian University Alliance, where only like an interesting thing is that only the members of the Asian University Alliance could actually participate in this summer school program. So they sent out this only to those universities. So I got the email, then it directed me to their official website, the Tsinghua University website, where you have to fill out an application form. At first, because it was formatted to be like a program where you actually go to China, they requested information such as like a passport, visa, and like numbers and a lot of those kind of information, because at first they were preparing to fly us out to China, but then of course everything shut down. And in that application, we had to attach our resume and attach our academic transcript in order for them to see what you study, how you study, and if you're applicable as a student there or not. And the third step, of course, was I got an email of acceptance, an invitation with all the needed documents, all the needed Zoom links in this case. Yes. And there they said that they give you a grant, but of course in the online teaching, grant is not that applicable, but they worded like that as well. So I guess that's all that it had on online summer school. Yes, there are some drawbacks. Yes, there are some benefits. But if you have the opportunity to go to a summer school when summer school, or maybe just any online school when coronavirus is still ongoing, please do, because you still get a lot of useful information that you might have not gotten otherwise if you just stay at home and not do anything. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. I can stop sharing, I guess. I got a question from Altair. Is this summer school recommended by you by email, or did you find it yourself? Yes, as I said, it was sent by the Department of Internal Cooperation. So it was it was sent by university. Do you have any other questions that you're interested in? I got a question from Dene. When summer school starts? It started in July. I'm not sure when. Let me check very quickly if I can. If I still have the record. I actually have some screenshots of the summer school, so I'm just looking for some screenshots with the dates. I think it was from 8th of July to 18th, I believe. So it was in the, like right in the middle of summer when, yes, when a lot of the university stopped, so it could be officially a summer school and not just like school for some people at the end of the spring semester. Yes, any other questions? Maybe you have some comments? Oh, I got another question. Doesn't it overlap with the lessons that start in August? Not really, because it's in July. So it ends in the middle, like in the second half of July. So I think it was, I'm not sure if it's different every year, but for mine, it ended like I think 15th or 18th of July. Also, the program itself is for 10 days, but you choose only 5 of the days that you want to participate based on the themes that they provide. And as I mentioned previously, some of the themes are more clear than others, but you just find the themes. Then there's a question, in which year of study is it good to participate? To be honest, any year. I remember there were some times when the professors asked, which year are you from, in order to ask us some questions, but there were freshmen there, there were seniors, there were PhD students even, I believe, and graduate students there as well. So it doesn't matter, because the knowledge that you get there, because they're geared towards everyone, it's very open. Some of the topics are more complicated than others, but you still get a lot of useful information and a lot of interesting perspectives. Also got Yes, I got a question. If it was offline, you were supposed to go to China with full financial aid. Yes, I believe so. Yes, because they said that they gave me a grant to study. So, and in the lectures themselves, they said that, oh, it's so sad that all of you are online, because in reality, all of you who got the grant, you were supposed to come to Beijing, and we will be in this main hall, and all of you will be sitting, and we will teach. But yes, that was not possible because of the pandemic situation. Sorry. Any other questions? Okay, another question from Hamid. When will you send that type of invitation? I guess closer to the summer, because I remember we got that email, I believe a month before the program started. So they said, or maybe, let me just check very quickly. I think I can even tell you the exact date when NU sent that application, but it's not like NU sends you a letter with many summer school programs. It's just when they get an invitation from some alliance or organization for a summer school for NU students, they just sent it out immediately. But I can check very quickly when that was sent out. 1 second. Yeah, we got it on, yeah, we got it in July. Yeah, July. And we had like some time to apply, and then we applied. Yeah. So it's important when you get these kind of emails where it says like cooperation at the start, it's very important to check it, because usually they have some sort of like exchange programs. Okay, and I got another comment. It says, wow, great, thank you. How many of the new students got in? There were actually a lot of us. I believe it was around 20, because we had a Telegram chat where we discussed like our homework and attendance. Okay, it says applied after foundation, at least you have to do it. Thanks for information. Thank you very much for your comment. So I remember like when the Zoom lectures were going on and they asked which university I was from, and when we said Nazarbayev universities, the professors were actually very happy. They knew about Nazarbayev University, and they were like, wow, thank you so much. Yes, we know Nazarbayev University. It's so great to have you guys here. They actually recognized us, which was very interesting. And there's a letter. Did you get a RL or recognition letter after completion? Yes, I got the certificate of completion with the stamp and the signature of the president, and I also got a certificate for the 1 Tsinghua credit, or as I said, like 2 or 3 credits for us. But it on the paper it said with the certificate for credit, it said this document does not guarantee that you get credit, but it shows that you did all the work and you will get the credit if you were studying in Tsinghua, because some of the students in the summer school were from Tsinghua University. So if they got the credit, they just got the credit to transfer to their transcript immediately. But shortly answer your question, yes, I got certificate of completion for that. Any other questions, comments? So as I said, I would just like to repeat myself. Oh, I actually got questions. Okay. What were the requirements for you to pass? So they didn't voice any like requirements. There wasn't any, like, it didn't say a GPA or anything, but they just said to send your resume and your transcript. And I guess they have their own internal regulations on what GPA they want, or what kind of a student they want. But I guess speaking in general, the requirements are to have a good transcript and a good resume. Because like on their website, it just said that, oh, we're looking for top students in the university with great achievements and things like that, but they didn't actually specify like any requirements. So I guess it was just decided by them, and they kept it internal. So I just would like to repeat myself again that if you have the opportunity to study in like an online kind of thing, even like I hope the pandemic situation would not worsen, but even if it continues, don't be afraid of these kind of opportunities, because they still provide you with a lot of valuable information. Here I got a question: does your major relate you to that program? To be honest, well, I guess yes, because the program in general, it talked about like online life and automation. That was kind of like the main theme of the whole event. And when it said about online life, they talked a lot about like online teaching as well. And since I am world languages, literature, and culture student, one of our prospects is education, and there were some thematic days on online education, specifically about how Tsinghua, how they implement online education. There were also guests from other universities who also talked about online education and how to actually make it work. So there were professors who had the experience of teaching online before the pandemic started, so they got more experience, and it was very interesting to see how they share that information. And of course, as they said, they talked a lot about automation, but automation in all spheres that relate to me as well. Like, for example, corpus linguistics, like creating a electronic corpus, they touched upon that as well. And also about AI, they talked about the need for linguistic professionals who are competent in technology, so that they could code language and so that the AI could understand the language and produce the language. So I guess, yes, it was it was related to me as well. Thank you very much for your kind comments. Does anybody? Oh, I also got another question. It says, could you please tell what kind of achievements did NU students have who passed internships or research? So in general, from the students that I know, all of them had quite good grades. Like they had, of course, they were in good academic standing, but they were one of the top in their in the students of their major. Also, a lot of them had a lot of them had rich social life. So some of them were from the NU student government, some of them were presidents of their clubs, of their respective clubs, or like vice presidents of their clubs. So it was these kind of students. But of course, I saw that there were some of my friends who were like, I don't know why they chose me. My grades are not that great, and I didn't do that many things in university. So yes. So I guess there was a wide range of students. Because I don't know all of the students who passed, I mean, like personally, I can just tell you about the ones that I know. So yes. Thank you for questions.
Thank you, Damelia. I think we need to wrap up the session. Again, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting to know about the online summer schools, about external academic opportunities. Asiel Umarova and Alia Koldubayeva's presentation. So we'll start with Asiel. Asiel is a third-year economics student, and she will share her experience. Like she will talk about opportunities, learning, opportunities that you receive if you learn Spanish at Nazarbayev University.
Okay, hello, thank you, Lazat. I hope you can hear me well. So let me share my screen. So I'm very glad to attend the session today and listen to some really interesting stories. First, I would like to tell you a little about myself. My name is Asiel, and I'm a third-year student majoring in economics, and I'm part of a new Spanish club. Why am I talking about this? Because today I will talk about academic mobility and how to get to study in Spain. Also, I will share with you small interview with my friend from Spain, and I prepared a list of internships. New Spanish Club has already held a session about studying in Madrid at Autonomous University of Madrid, but today I will add some corrections and I will tell you about the selection process itself, which I'm familiar with, but unfortunately I haven't been to Spain. The program was cancelled thanks to coronavirus, but I will definitely share with you everything what I know. So I would like to start by saying that our university offers Spanish courses. There are 4 of them that so you can take Spanish for 4 semesters, not necessarily in a row. Now I'm taking the 3rd course, but I can tell you that there are several guys in my group who didn't take the very first course or even the second 2, but they joined the continuing group. That is, you can start learning language by on your own and later enroll in a Spanish course. All the students who joined later took paid courses by New Spanish Club. So if you want and you have an opportunity, then contact the club and sign up for courses in the new semester. So in previous years, there were 2 main conditions. That is a minimum GPA of 3.5 and level B2 or take an intermediate Spanish too. So, however, the program and conditions, they change from year to year. So in the previous semester, it was possible to apply even while taking the beginning course. This is really cool. So you can also apply to this program. And you can apply only if you are 1st or 2nd year student. And I would like to add that when I applied, one of the considered but not mandatory criteria was whether you are doing a minor in world languages, literature and culture, or Spanish and Hispanic studies. And also they were considering if you had taken any other courses taught in Spanish, so for example, advanced Spanish grammar and composition or the Hispanic short story. So if you meet the criteria above, you can send an email with the application. The first thing that should be in the email is a motivational letter or cover letter. The cover letter should be 1 page long. You write about your motivation, why you want to go to Spain, why you're interested in Spanish, what courses you want to take at the university, Autonomous University of Madrid. That is just why you should be chosen. Therefore, all previous candidates strongly advise to collect information about the university, about the programs and courses there. The next thing is to send the transcript, and the last is your CV, preferably in Europass format, so you can just Google it and their website. They can help you to create this your CV. After the review of applications by the University Selection Committee, you may be invited for an interview. It consists of 2 parts. It consists of 2 parts in 2 languages. Despite the fact that the university has many courses in English, it's still advisable to look at the courses that are taught in Spanish, maybe courses on Spanish culture, history, linguistics, and literature. And next, there is an interview in Spanish. There you will answer questions about yourself, and at the same time, the committee will check your speaking in Spanish. When I applied, the deadline for the application was the 30th of March, so you still have a lot of time to prepare. And if you're admitted to the program, you will study 1 semester at the Autonomous University of Madrid from approximately September 1st to January 18th. But I don't know the dates for the spring semester. They can change from time to time. Next, further, you are paid a scholarship. This is 850 euros per month for the entire program. That is 5 months. For example, participants of previous years' program said that the scholarship was about 830 euros. And students also will be provided with a paid round-trip ticket, Astana, Madrid, Astana. And there is a really big drawback that accommodation is not provided, so you need to find the dormitory by yourself. Okay, well, that's all I wanted to tell you about academic mobility in Madrid. But also I wanted to invite my friend from Spain to our session, but since I couldn't participate in the first session and due to the difference in time zones, he's not able to attend it now, but I took from his small, let's say, an interview about his studies in Spain, education in Spain. So my friend's name is Ignacio, short for Nacho, and he's Spanish. We have known each other for a year and a half, and now he's a second-year student at the University of Cádiz, Universidad de Cádiz, and he's studying computer engineering. In general, education in Spain is very strong. There are many top universities in Europe and in the world. And by the way, the Autonomous University of Madrid is a high-ranking university. So the first question is, do you have many foreign students there? And he answered that there are enough of them all over the country across all universities, but basically all international students at my university are students doing a master's or PhD, and they all came under the Erasmus Plus program. Therefore, I advise you to look for information about this program and apply to Erasmus Mundus joint master degrees. So you can Google it, it's really cool. And I'm adding it from me that you can really research about this program if you are planning to continue to study, to do your master's in Europe, and you are considering Europe. So really think about Spain and about this program. What tests should the foreign student take? There is an exam named DELE. This is an analog of Cambridge test and IELTS, with which you are all familiar with. It also checks parts such as listening, reading, writing, speaking. However, the main difference is that you can get absolutely any score in IELTS. That's true. So, for example, you just come and get a score of 6.5 or 8.0, but in DELE, this is not the case. You first choose which level of the test you want to take. For example, you see in the university's criteria that you need confirmation of B2 level of Spanish language. Then you go and write the test for that difficulty. So you either pass the test or you don't. And I think that's a bit harder than IELTS exam. Is it possible to study at the university only with knowledge of English but without knowledge of Spanish? And his answer is there are such universities in Spain, but I wouldn't recommend doing so. First, there are few such universities. Secondly, this is not an established practice, but only innovations. Yes, he said that this is something brand new, is just only being invented. And thirdly, everyone will still switch to Spanish, maybe even the instructors, while explaining the material. Still, Spanish is the dominant language, and there are quite a few Spanish people who do not know or do not want to learn this language, and therefore, in order to survive, you will still need to learn Spanish. So I have found some internships in Spain, but I didn't check them all, but of course you can check, research, and apply if everything is good with situation in the world. And that's all. You can ask your questions. If I can answer them, then I will try to do it. But if I'm not sure about the answer, since I didn't study at Madrid, I can ask later from my friends who have already traveled and studied one semester in Spain. And later I will contact you. Okay, so the question is, what is your level of Spanish? Did you take additional courses? As I said before, I'm taking the third course, which is intermediate Spanish 1. So my level is approximately B1. But also I took Spanish courses from a new Spanish club. They are really cool and highly intensive. I studied maybe 3 times a week. And also New Spanish Club has a really good teachers, instructors. Will there be courses from Spanish Club in spring? Yes, there will be new courses. So just contact the club and we will add you to our mailing list, and there will be an email about new courses for different levels, and probably they will be online. Why do you become interested specifically in Spanish, Spain? Truly speaking, I don't know. I think this is because I was interested in Spanish, Mexican soap operas series. So, for example, do you remember Rebel Way, Мятежный дух? This is very cool TV series. So, and also I always like to listen to Shakira. What is the cost of courses from Spanish club? I don't know exactly, so you should contact the club, but usually it's 10,000 tenge per semester, but this price may change. So really contact our club. Who are the teachers in Spanish club? I think that the teacher now is Bakhtiar. He's also he's not a student, and he has also proved his proficiency in Spanish by passing this DELE exam. And also previously we had an instructor from Mexico, Edward. So maybe one of them can teach you. And do you plan to get master's degree in Spain? Yes, I'm planning to get master's degree, but I'm considering different countries, and Spain is one of them. Okay, I guess that this is all. Thank you for your questions. What level of Spanish should have the first year students to apply this program? As I said before, the level should be B2, but since last semester it was possible to apply even if you are taking the beginning Spanish 2, it was possible to apply because you also should show your motivation. And I think that if your level is around B1 and B2, you can apply to this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asiel, for your presentation. It was a really interesting presentation about the exchange program. And now we are moving to Alia Koldabayeva, who is a third-year economics student, and she will share her experience of participating in case championships.
Okay, hello. So let's share my screen. Okay. So I hope you see my presentation and you can hear me well. Please tell me if it's not like that. Okay, let me check. I'm not sure about my internet connection.
So it's okay. We can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you. So I will start. So my name is Aliya Kaldubayeva. I'm a junior. My major is economics. I'm also making my minor at WLL. Today, I would like to share with you some information about CASE championships. What is it? Why do you need to participate? And how can you participate? So let's start. This is just a small information about me, about my participation at CASE championships and the related courses. So far, I have participated about 5 or 6 CASE championships. Currently, I'm participating at 2 of them, like this talk. And also, I have taken some related courses that I thought will be helpful for me. It's Excel and also introduction to finance and the auditing. This CASE championship. CASE championship is a solution to assess or to be study within an allocated time. So you have a good company, for example, right now I'm working as my teammate for BI group. The CASE championship we are the user product will bring additional group. But actually, the range of
Alia, I'm sorry. I think you have some technical difficulties. Maybe you can turn off your video. So, okay, thank you.
Is it better now? Is it better now, please?
Yes, it is better now. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't know exactly in what moment it started to logging, but let's start from the beginning. CASE champion case study within allocated time frame. So usually given 1 week to solve the given problem. And the variety of the sphere which this problem comes from is very huge. So it can come from like BI company, BI group, or any other gas related sphere. So it's very huge, and you always can find some topic that you are interested in. For example, I really like the topic of finance. So I try to participate in the CASE championships that are related to financial companies or economic companies. Okay, so what majors can participate? So every major, every course is welcome. If you know some basics of economics or math, it will be beneficial for you because almost in all CASE championships, you have to build a financial model. But if you cannot do this, it's not a problem as long as you can Google it. So where can you find the information about upcoming CASE championships? If you are planning to participate, please take a screen of this slide. This is the links where I usually find them in the auditing lab, CASE lab, career center. So these 2 websites, challenge.com and the businessdiving.ru. So they are organizing the best CASE championships in Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan. So if you win one of them, it's like the best thing that can happen in your CASE championship career. Also, you can find some useful information if you're just making your way at CASE championships in this following clubs. They're posting some materials, some useful books that can help you to improve your skills at solving cases. Okay, when you find the team, you decided to participate at case championship. So how can you find your teammates? Usually in one team, you have 4 people, and each person is responsible for one sphere. For example, in my team, I usually work on financial model, or I do the presentation itself. Where can you find your teammates? So I found my teammates in our VK group, Vatrumim. Also, if you participate in Challenge Case Championship or any other case championship, they always have this opportunity that you can put, that you can write that you don't have a team, and they will help you to find the team. But it's kind of risky because you never know what kind of people you will work with. Also, this is a good Telegram channel, preparation for case interviews, made by Case Club. You can also find there some good motivated people. And the last one, I always like to work with my friends, because you know these people, you know what their advantages and disadvantages. So if you have friends that are studying with you or at the same major, you can invite them and try your chances at case championship. So, and the last question, why do you need to participate? So firstly, it's networking. When you participate at case championships, usually they were conducted offline. You used to meet a lot of new people, especially if you participate in a good case championship, for example, made by one of the big 3 or big 4 companies. You always meet some partners that work there. So you have like some kind of branch, and you're just randomly talking to one person. And then by the end, you realize that he's a partner in one of these good companies. So it's a good place to start your relationship with very nice and important people of this company. Secondly, you will improve your communication skills, because if you're not working with your friends, it means that you will work with some people that you didn't know before, and it will be useful if you get like internship and in your future career too. Learning to work at group, probably this is the best skill that I have gained, because as I said before, you never know with what kind of people you work with, and you are learning to be flexible, to find a way to each person to come up with a good result. Improving problem solving skills, so it's basically working on your hard skills. You're learning how to have analytical type of thinking, and this is actually very helpful. This helpful not only at solving cases, but also in your studies. Like as I said before, I'm econ major, so sometimes it helps me, like analytical thinking helps me to solve some hard problems. And also internship opportunities. If you win one of the case championships, usually they have, the main prize is getting internship, a paid internship at these companies. If you get a paid internship, there is a good chance that you will show yourself from the best side, and after that they maybe even offer you like job promotion. So I hope I was convincing enough to motivate you to participate at case championships. So if you have any questions, you are welcome. You can, or you can see this works. Help you to answer your probably I will stop. Okay, I hope you can hear me because my internet again is lagging. Can you share with experience how and from what you started, how to improve skills, and what would you recommend for beginners in case problem solving? Okay, I have started when I was a second-year student, and I still think that it was kind of late. But if you are foundation student or first-year student, please at Vatrumi try to find any teammates. And also in Watermere, they always post the upcoming case championships. Try to participate. If it will be your first case championship, try to participate in a case championship that are organized by our new clubs like auditing and accounting club or case club. Why? Because even though this case championships, they're not counted by like big 3, big 4 companies, but still you will get experience, you will learn more, you will see, do you like it or not? Because when I started participating, I didn't have any idea what cases at all. So I liked it when I started to participate. So how to improve skills and what would you recommend for beginners in case problem solving? So I would recommend you to go to the NU Case Club BK page, because they have very good information, very good books, very good case books that you can solve and see. So just go to NU Case Club, download the material, study, and see whether you like it or not. Okay, you're welcome. If you have any questions, you can always message me. I will try to help you.
Okay, thank you, Elia, for your presentation. With this presentation, we end the second part of our MentorCon. If you have any more questions, you can ask now. If not, we will end this session. But we would like to, I want to remind you that tomorrow we will have 2 more sessions of our MentorCon. We will discuss NU social life and research experiences at Nazarbayev University. Once again, I want to say thank you to our mentors who gave presentations today. I don't see any more questions in the chat, so I think we can end this session right now. Thank you for your participation, and we will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.